God already gave you the blueprint, not a motivational idea, not a principle you have to piece together from a self-help book. An actual, detailed, battle-tested financial blueprint, written in Scripture for the exact season you are in right now. And if you are in your 40s or 50s, feeling like the window is closing, wondering whether you prayed too late or waited too long, I need you to stay right here. Because what the book of Nehemiah contains is not just a story about rebuilding walls in 449 BC. It is a financial survival and recovery guide for believers who are building something real while everything around them is trying to. Make him stop. Most believers read Nehemiah as a leadership story. Pastors preach it as a church planting sermon. But almost nobody sits down and says, wait a minute, this man had nothing, faced organized opposition, worked with limited resources, rebuilt something that looked completely destroyed, and finished the whole project in 52 days. That is not just leadership. That is a financial rebuilding strategy. And God put it in the book for you. So let us open the chapter most believers skip, and let us build. Here is where we need to start. Nehemiah received news that Jerusalem, the city of his people, his heritage, his family legacy, was in ruins. The walls were broken down. The people who had returned were living in shame and vulnerability. And Nehemiah, from his comfortable position in Persia, wept. He fasted. He prayed for months before he said a single word to anyone with power to help him. Does that sound familiar? Have you prayed about your finances for months, maybe years, without seeing the breakthrough? Have you fasted over debt that does not seem to move? Have you stayed faithful, stayed believing, and still felt like the walls of your financial life are just rubble on the ground? You are not behind. You are right at the moment Nehemiah was before he ever picked up a single stone. Because here is what the world will never tell you. Preparation that looks like waiting is not wasted time in God's economy. Nehemiah spent months in prayer before he ever moved. And when he finally did move, the king said yes to everything he asked for in a single conversation. What if your months of prayer have been positioning you for a single moment of divine yes? Now let us get into Scripture, because the blueprint I promised you is not mine. It belongs to God, and it has been sitting in these pages waiting for you to find it. The first Scripture is Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4. In the original text, it reads that by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established, and through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. In plain language for today, that means you do not build anything lasting with hustle alone. You build it with divine wisdom applied consistently. Knowledge fills the rooms, meaning financial knowledge applied with understanding produces abundance. Here is the financial application for a believer over 40. If you feel behind, the instinct is to move faster, take more risk, chase a shortcut. But Proverbs 24 says the framework is wisdom first, understanding second, and knowledge third. The sequence matters. A plan built on those three things, even started at 47 or 53, will produce rooms filled with treasure. You do not need more time. You need the right sequence. Marcus is 51 years old and lives in Houston, Texas. He spent most of his 40s bouncing between side businesses. They never seemed to stick. 2 years ago, he stopped chasing fast money and started applying what he called the wisdom sequence. Studying biblical finance principles before making any financial decision, building understanding of his actual cash flow, and then acquiring specific knowledge about one income stream at a time. By doing things in that order, he eliminated $40,000 of consumer debt in 18 months and started his first retirement account at age 51. Wisdom before speed. Understanding before action. That is the sequence. Now back to Nehemiah. Because here's where most believers miss the financial strategy buried in his story. Before Nehemiah touched a single stone, he did three things that directly mirror sound financial rebuilding. He assessed the damage honestly. He surveyed the broken walls at night, privately, before telling anyone else what he saw. He did not minimize the ruins. He did not exaggerate them. He looked at exactly what was there and what was not. If you are 45 or 55 and you have never done a true financial assessment, not a general sense of things, but an honest, itemized, eyes-open look at your income, your debts, your retirement gap, your monthly spending, you have not yet done what Nehemiah did before he laid the first stone. He made a specific request. When Nehemiah finally approached the king, he did not say, "I want to fix things in Jerusalem." He asked for a leave of absence, letters of passage, timber for the gates, and a paid position. Specific, detailed, prepared. How specific is your financial ask when you pray? Are you praying for general blessing, or have you asked God for specific provision, with a specific plan attached? And third, he mobilized what he already had. He did not wait for outside investors. He said to the people already living in Jerusalem, "Let us rise up and build." And they rose up. The resources you are waiting for may already be around you. The skills you already have, the equity you have already built, the relationships you already hold. These are the stones on the ground that Nehemiah would pick up first. Keep watching, because the next few minutes contain the piece most believers never apply, and without it, nothing else in this video will work. Every time a believer over 40 starts building something real, the attacks come, not because they are doing something wrong, because they are doing something right. And Scripture tells us exactly how to handle each one without ever leaving the work site. The attacks on Nehemiah came in a specific progression. First came mockery. When the work became visible and started to succeed, people who had something to lose began to publicly ridicule the project. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever started pursuing a financial goal, paying down debt, starting a business, shifting careers at 48, and heard the quiet laughter from people who called it unrealistic? What did Nehemiah do? He handed the mockery upward to God in a short prayer, turned back to the wall, and kept building. He did not write a rebuttal. He did not call a meeting to defend the project. The wall growing was the only answer he gave. If you have been stopping your financial progress to defend your vision to people who never believed in it anyway, this is your moment to turn back to the wall. Then came organized opposition. A coalition formed against the work. In financial terms, this looks like circumstances aligning against you at once. An unexpected expense, a job change, a market shift, a relationship that drains your resources. The principle Nehemiah used was one hand on the trowel, one hand on the sword. He kept building while defending. He did not drop one to pick up the other. He held both. In practical terms for your finances today, that means you keep building your emergency fund while also protecting your income. You keep investing consistently while also managing your current obligations. You do not stop building to fight every financial fire. You build with one hand and you manage with the other. And then came the most dangerous attack, the one from the inside. Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 10. The workers themselves said the strength is gone. There is too much rubble. We cannot finish. This was not the enemy outside. This was the exhausted inner voice. After months of effort, after setbacks and delays, after 45 or 50 years of financial struggle, that voice knows exactly what to say. It says you are too tired. There is too much damage. This cannot be finished. What Nehemiah did next is the most practical leadership and financial principle in the whole book. He repositioned his people so they could see each other. He reminded them exactly what they were building for. Not an abstract wall, but their families, their children, their own homes. When you want to quit your debt payoff plan or walk away from your savings goal, do this. Stop thinking about the number. Think about the face. Think about who benefits when the wall is finished. Think about the grandchild who will not inherit debt. Think about the spouse who will finally sleep without financial anxiety. Think about the version of yourself at 65 who looked back and did not quit. Now let us get to the second scripture. Proverbs 13, verse 22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their grandchildren. In plain language, the financial decisions you make right now echo forward 2 generations. The application for a believer over 40 is this: you are not building only for yourself. Every dollar of debt you eliminate, every retirement contribution you make, every financial skill you pass to your children is a stone laid in a wall that will shelter people who are not yet old enough to thank you. Let me give you a real-life example. Patricia is 48 and lives in Memphis, Tennessee. She spent years feeling like her past financial mistakes disqualified her from ever building anything meaningful. 2 years ago, she started approaching her finances the way a wall builder would, one stone at a time, with Proverbs 13, verse 22 written on a card above her desk. She opened a custodial investment account for her daughter. She started a small whole life policy. She automated $50 a month into savings. None of it felt dramatic, but her daughter, now 16, is watching her mother build a wall, and that watching is worth more than the balance of any account. Drop behind or building in the comments right now. I want to know where you are standing today. Are you still feeling behind, or have you already started building? Both answers are welcome here. There is no wrong place to be, only the next right step. Now I want to talk to you directly about something the financial world will never say to you. But that scripture has always said, you are not late. The world has a timeline. It says you should have started investing at 25, been debt-free by 35, had your retirement fully funded by 45. If you are watching this at 52 and none of that happened, the world's timeline says you are out of options. But God's economy does not follow the world's timeline. It never has. Consider Moses. He lived 40 years as a prince in Egypt, 40 years in the wilderness as a shepherd, and then, at 80 years old, he stood before Pharaoh and led the greatest financial and physical liberation in human history. An entire nation's worth of people carrying gold and silver and livestock out of generations of captivity. Every family receiving provision they had not earned on their own terms. Moses' greatest impact, the moment God used him most powerfully, came after 40. After 80 even. God does not look at your age and reassign your purpose. He looks at your availability and your obedience. The wall is still being built. Your hands are still capable. The stones are still on the ground. God measures obedience, not age. Now let us look at the third scripture, and this one I want you to write down before the week is over. Proverbs 21, verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. In plain language, consistent, deliberate, faithful effort builds real wealth. Rushing toward shortcuts produces loss. The financial application for a believer over 40 is this: the strategy is not speed, it is diligence. A patient, consistent, spirit-led financial plan built on real wisdom will outperform every shortcut you were offered in your 40s. Let me show you what that looks like. David is 55 and lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. At 50, he had almost nothing saved and carried $60,000 in combined debt. He was tempted more than once by investment schemes that promised fast returns. He never took them. Instead, he built what he called a diligent plan, a written monthly budget, a debt snowball starting with his smallest balances, automatic retirement contributions starting at just 1% and increasing by 1% every 6 months. By 55, he had eliminated the consumer debt, had a growing retirement account, and was sleeping better than he had in 20 years. Not fast, diligent. Proverbs 21 verse 5 working in real life. Here is what I want to leave you with before we close. Nehemiah finished the wall in 52 days, not because he was extraordinary, because he refused to come down off the work site. Every time opposition tried to get him to stop building, he gave the same answer: I am doing a great work. I cannot come down. And when the wall was finished, Scripture records that the enemies who opposed him were silenced by its existence. The finished wall said everything that no argument could have said. Your financial breakthrough, your rebuilt wall, the inheritance you are laying stone by stone, it will answer every voice that said it could not be done. You do not need to defend your vision. You need to finish it. The Proverbs 13 verse 22 Wealth Rebuild Workbook is in the description below this video. It is designed specifically for believers who are starting or restarting their financial build after 40. It walks you through assessment, planning, and the wisdom sequence we talked about from Proverbs 24. It is practical, it is rooted in Scripture, and it was built for exactly where you are standing right now. If this video gave you even one stone to place on your wall today, please share it with someone who is building. Like the video if it stirred something in you. Subscribe to Divine Money Code because we bring this kind of biblical financial teaching consistently, and there is always more to open. And drop, behind, or building one more time in the comments. I read them. I pray over this community. The blueprint has always been there. You just have not opened this chapter yet. Open it now. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.